welcome back to my channel. This is yours truly 50 only. I'm gonna be doing another review of Tyler Perry's House of Payne. So before I start, I just want to apologize because the last video that I did, I think I told you guys the wrong episode. And actually, what's really strange is that in the last time Tyler Perry's House of Payne was on, when it ended back, I think in 2012, it was, I think they had like 8 seasons, but for some reason on BET, it is saying that it's season 7. So, last episode was season 7, episode 12, and it was called Lucky Card. So I apologize for misquoting that in my last video. This week's episode, this is season 7, episode 13, and this is called Moving On, or Moving On. So let's get right into it. So the show starts off with Miranda. Apparently so if we go back to last episode, the way it ended was she, with the door wide open, just barged in, and she saw Calvin and Laura kissing. So apparently she got upset. She left. So it starts off here in this episode with her going over to Aunt Ella's house again, bothering Aunt Ella. And of course she's over there talking about Calvin. So she's like, she's upset, and she's saying, she realizes that she's going to move on. She realizes that it's over and she's going to go on a date. So she tells Aunt Ella this, and so, that's that. So then Uncle Curtis finds out that Miranda's actually dating this quarterback named, I think his name is Lawson Brex or something like that. And so, of course, he knows him. He's a famous quarterback. And so Uncle Curtis wants to meet him. So he's trying to get Miranda to somehow bring him around so he can meet him. Now, I want to go back. I don't know if you guys remember, but back in the old House of Payne, there was an episode. I don't remember the number, but I know it was in season 4. And I know that it was called Stop Being All Funny. And in that episode, during that time, CJ and Janine were divorced. They both were dating other people. CJ was dating the woman named Tanya, and Janine was dating a football player. He was famous. His name was Brian Dawson. And in that episode, Uncle Curtis was like losing his mind over Brian Dawson. And he just was like, oh, it's Brian Dawson. This is Brian Dawson. So anyway, in the episode, CJ was like really hurt. It was like 2 things that CJ was concerned about. One was this football player with all this money buying his kids affection, to get to Janine. And the other thing was he was feeling like, Uncle Curtis didn't really think much of him, or didn't see him, or wasn't proud of him. Like, he felt like Uncle Curtis never really gave him props for who he was, or just the man that he had become. So he really struggled in that episode. I mean, CJ was hurt. So when Uncle Curtis goes over to CJ's house to talk to him about the situation and tells him about this quarterback named Lawson Brex, CJ's like, wait a minute. Don't do that. He was like, no, don't have him come over, because you remember what happened the last time. He said, if you do that, Calvin is going to be hurt. And CJ said that because CJ was hurt. I mean, that whole episode, he was gloating, and he was just moping around. So anyway, after CJ tells him not to do that, so then it goes back to Miranda, and she goes back over on Ella's house after the date, tells Aunt Ella that the guy just kept talking about himself, and she just wasn't interested. And so she finally just broke down, and she came out and she told Aunt Ella, that she wants Calvin back. And so, Aunt Ella's, basically told her, well, you need to go let him know. Like, if you really want him back, you and him need to talk. You need to be honest with him and let him know how you feel. And so Miranda's like, okay. She's like, I'm going to do that. She made a decision to go talk to Calvin. Meanwhile, Uncle Curtis is still trying to figure out how he's going to convince Miranda to bring this Lawson Brex guy around so he can meet him, And so basically, that was the crux of the episode. It really wasn't much to it. I don't think to me, it was sort of like, it was sort of an episode they really didn't have to shoot. Because, it was nothing new that Miranda was saying. She had already told Calvin how she felt. She already was saying she wanted him back. And even on Ella knew because of her actions. So I'm not really sure, like, the point of the episode. I don't know if it was a filler episode. I have no idea. But to me, it really was sort of a waste. But I will say this. The good news is that House of Payne has been renewed for another season, which I'm excited about. I was excited because I love the show. The other reason why I'm excited is because not only is it being renewed for another season, but I read an article just recently that Tyler Perry is giving over, like he's opening the door for new writers, and he realizes that he kind of paved the way. So he's allowing other people to write. He's giving these young new writers opportunities, which is wonderful. So I'm sure I'm actually like hoping and sure, I'm saying I'm hoping, but I think that the episodes will be a lot better with these new writers because, I noticed with Tyler Perry, he had a lot of different projects going on, different shows, and it seemed to me, because I don't know if you guys watch Sisters, that's another show that he does, and you can tell the difference. Like, Sisters is so good, and I'm going to be doing that one as well, like doing reviews, so you guys look out for those videos. But in Sisters, you can tell Tyler spends a lot of time on that show because the writing is really done well. The lighting on the show is done well. The editing is done really well. The costumes, everything is done really, really well. So you can tell that he has certain projects that take priority. And unfortunately for this season, House of Payne did not, it just wasn't on the top of his list. But it's okay because he did say that he was floored by, how much people were so enthusiastic and how many people watch House of Payne. He did not expect it to be that, what it is. And I think that's a testament to how great the show is, but also it let him know, hey, you got people that love this show. You need to do better. So I'm excited about that. And like I said, even with all of that, even with the fact that maybe the show isn't as up to par as it used to be, I am still excited about it. I am still, a fan of the show. I love it. I have all the CDs, all the episodes of the old show. I watched all the reruns, and I can honestly tell you that, I'm excited about what's going to happen. I personally don't want, like I said, I don't want Miranda to be with Calvin. I think that they need to go on with their lives. I think they can raise Christian together without being married. And this is just my opinion. I'm not saying that I'm for or against either one of them. Just based off of the things that they've been through and how they've handled this transition, this separation, all this time before the divorce. I just feel like, they need to be apart. I think, I like to see new stories, and I really like the fact that they introduced Laura into the story, and I'm hoping, and if anybody hasn't seen it, Laura is Calvin's new girlfriend. I really hope they kind of keep her on the show a little bit. I want to see what happens with them. There's a lot that can be told about them, and so I'm excited about that. The other thing that I noticed that they're doing, which is good, but they need to elaborate more on it, is they're showing you the cracks in Uncle Curtis and Aunt Ella's relationship. Like, you can see that it's not perfect. You can see that there's issues. You can see that the kids actually saw these things over the years but never really said anything. Because it's interesting that Calvin in one of the episodes was like telling on Ella, well, it ain't new that he takes it for granted. So it kind of goes to show you that they really all saw it, but they just kind of, they just kind of went on. They didn't really say anything. So I think that's interesting. So that's about it for the episode. Like I said, it was very, very, I mean, it was Miranda focused, really about Miranda and just basically her trying to figure out what she's going to do with Calvin. That's why I said I feel like it was sort of like a filler episode, or maybe an episode that didn't need to happen. With all that being said, though, like I said, I love the show and I'm going to continue to watch it. I'm going to continue to give my little spiel, my little take on it. And I'm looking forward to seeing where the characters continue to go and continue to grow. So, you guys, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye.